Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. So, we are just waiting for everybody to join in, and I'll just wait for 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll get started. Okay, so I think we'll get started now, and whoever joins in can keep coming in, and we, any which ways, have the webinar recorded. So, hello all, welcome to this session. We are very, very excited to have you all here. So, I'll quickly introduce whoever is here with us today. So, we have Professor Janat Shah, who is the director of IIM Udaipur. We have Professor Rajesh Agarwal, who is the chairperson of the one-year MBA programs committee. We have Vaishekar sir, who is the in charge of the Center of Digital Enterprise, and we have Thanu Bhatt ma'am, who is representing the admissions office, and there's me. So I'm Jennifer D'Souza. I am from the batch of 2020-21, which is the first batch of the DEM program, and I'll be handling all the questions regarding the experience of the program which you might be having, and everything else regarding the placements, regarding the program structure, design, curriculum. We'll have the sirs respond to those questions. So we'll quickly get started. I'll hand over the session to Rajesh sir, who will run you through the program curriculum, followed by Janat sir, Shekhar sir, and then we'll have the question and answers towards the end. But I request you to post your questions only in the question and answer tab and not in the chat section. So yeah, Rajesh sir, you can take over from here.
Thank you very much, Jennifer, and a very good evening to all the participants who are attending this webinar today. Uh, I would like to talk to you about IIM Udaipur as an institution. Mr. Shekhar, can you? Yeah, thank you. So I would like to talk to you about IIM Udaipur as an institute, because one of the most important consideration before you join in any management program is to understand the background of the institution and its standing. And in that context, it's very important for you to know what IIM Udaipur stands for and what is the quality of learning that you are going to get here. And I'm very proud and very happy to say that IIM Udaipur is the youngest institute in the world. Youngest in what? Youngest in achieving appreciation, accolades, and accreditations and high ranking among the class of high quality management schools in the world. First of all, you can see right on top is the QS World University Ranking. This is a very prestigious ranking, and they come out with what they call Masters in Management ranking. We were the youngest institute in the world. We are not even 10-year-old since we were set up in the year 2011. So we are not even 10-year-old, but we are present in this prestigious international ranking, which is QS World University Ranking. Not only in 2020 ranking, but also in 2021 ranking. Down below, you can see that we are present in another very prestigious international ranking, which is called the Financial Times ranking. We were present both in 2019 ranking and the latest 2020 ranking. I would like to invite your attention to the 2020 ranking, where you can see that only 4 IIMs are present in this ranking. Which are these IIMs which are present in the Financial Times ranking? IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, and the fourth IIM is IIM Udaipur. So it's a matter of great pride for us that we are among the 4 IIMs which are present in the Financial Times 2020 ranking. And the last one that you can see there, an accreditation. Again, we are the fastest to get this accreditation, what is called AACSB accreditation. What does this mean? That we are among only the 5% management schools in the world to get recognized by AACSB. Now, there is a story behind these rankings and this accreditation is this, that in a short span of time of its existence, since it was set up in the year 2011, the institute has been able to deliver programs of very high quality. Institute is also globally recognized for its research contribution. What it means is whatever we do we do with a commitment of quality, and that is what you are going to experience should you apply here and should you get an admission here. Our promise to the industry and to you is of high quality. Right. Moving on to the next slide, I would like to tell you about the program on digital enterprise management. I'm sure if you'd have done Google search and talked to your friends and colleagues, you would have found out that this is a unique program offering in the country. We believe that this is a special program for those people who are looking forward and looking into the future. The future holds for those who are getting into the world of digital. I don't have to tell you more as to how digital is so promising. You know what? The kinds of businesses and the way businesses are done these days have fundamentally changed. And you'd agree that digital is a great disruptor. Well, those who get disrupted don't like it. But if you become the part of the team which is in the process of disrupting and taking advantage of this opportunity, here is an opportunity in this 1-year MBA program where you get to learn about this whole world of data and technology and digital. So we invite you to understand more about this program. And if it aligns with your career goals, you should consider applying for this program. So talking more about this program, the eligibility conditions are that you have to either write GRE or GMAT or a CAT. You have to have a valid score of any of these three. Lot of times people ask this question as to what is the cutoff, minimum cutoff below which we don't consider. Let me tell you on this, there is nothing like a specific number that we have in mind. We look at the candidate's overall profile holistically, right? So it is not about only one data point that we look at the score. We look at the score for sure. We look at the personal interview performance. You look at the profile, the experience, and all that put together is only the admission decision is made. Of course, you got to have 36 months of full-time work experience to be able to join this program. It's an on-campus residential program. It's a full-time program on campus. And after you qualify, you get an MBA degree in digital enterprise management. Needless to say that you need to have a minimum graduation as the qualification. Again, a lot of time people ask this question that do I need to have an IT background to join this program? Or do I need to have an engineering background to join this program? Neither is true. You can have background in any field, it does not matter. But what matters for sure is your keen interest in the field of digital. If you're keenly interested in this field of digital, here is an opportunity to apply in this program. Yes, moving on to the next slide, I want to talk to you briefly about the DEM design. As you can see that this program, though it is for 1 year, we believe is transformational in nature. What do we mean by transformational in nature is this, that from the time you come in and the time you graduate, we believe that you should walk out, you should graduate as a changed person. Changed person not only in terms of the skills you acquire, but also in terms of your overall personality, your communication skills, your ability to deal with business problems, and a whole host of things, including your overall profile as a manager. So we believe that DEM program has been designed keeping in mind all these characteristics. And basically, we believe that this will help you prepare and become one leader in the industry in the years to come. And you can deal with strategic issues, planning issues, and a whole host of other issues in the digital world. Moving on to the next slide. If you could see the way courses have been designed, in any management course, you would agree that there have to be core business fundamental management courses because this is a course in management, right? So you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, there are a whole host of management fundamental courses, such as finance, accounting, economics, marketing, operation research, and a whole host of courses in management. Once you appreciate the basic business fundamentals, Then you move on to understanding and applying these business concepts in the digital world. And when you apply these concepts in the digital world, then you understand the emerging concepts, the practices, and the methods. How do we use these practices to make a digital organization function better? Moving on, we go to the courses in the area of technology and data. You'd agree that whenever we say the word digital, technology and data is at the heart of digital, right? So it's important for you to appreciate the role and the relevance of data and technology in the digital world. How can we harness the power? How can we exploit the power of number of data, voluminous data that we can gather in the industry? Likewise, how can we take advantage of the technology in making a difference in the organization, right? That's the whole game all about. So in these courses such as AI, blockchain, IoT, cloud technology, you learn about these things. And then moving on, you get to industry verticals. Then you say, okay, so far so good. How do I apply all that I have learned so far in a particular industry vertical? Say, for example, B2B marketing or fintech or healthcare or social sector. This is the application of whatever you have learned in management courses and digital and technology courses. And then the last bit is all about your actual real life experience in applying this in real life projects, right? So we will be working with variety of industries to get you an opportunity to work in live projects where you will be applying these concepts, and then the learning that you shall have will stick with you, will stay with you for the rest of your life. And that's how the whole course has been designed. And we believe this entire package, including the whole host of direct coaching that we provide to you, shall be transformational. Right? Thank you very much for your attention. Now I would request Mr. Shekhar, who is the head of the Center for Digital Enterprise, to talk to you more about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rajesh, and good evening to everyone. A warm welcome to all the member participants. It's a privilege to be talking to you all and presenting to you what the center actually does, and a bit about the program that Rajesh just spoke to you. So the center has been created keeping in mind that the future is going to be digital. And that's one of the areas IIM Udaipur is actually positioned for, which you'll hear, which you'll hear more about from the director himself. So as we move in the direction of digital and digitalization, there is a lot that needs to be learned and understood, both from the academic side and from the practical side. I'm going to spend a little time explaining to you how the practical learning comes in this program of DEM. Every student who's in this particular program does projects in two distinct areas. One is called the technology and the other one is called the analytics. By technology, we mean that this is the use of technology or the application of certain emerging technologies in the context of business problem solving, or in the context of automating a particular part of the business or the entire business itself. How does it go about? And what happens in the process of dealing with such technologies? So for instance, let me come back to this a little later. On the analytics side, we are enabling students to understand how to deal with large volumes of data, which we know digital produces a lot of data, which could also be complex in nature. So how do you bring in your talent to understand using data, everything about decision making? So how do you relate to a business strategy and the execution of the business strategy through the use of technology and data? That's the kind of experience you get in the projects in analytics. Here are a couple of examples that we have taken that the current batch of students are actually working on. And more about that, maybe Jennifer could speak about as part of a Q&A in terms of the projects. So these are industry sponsored projects. When we say industry sponsored projects, it means that the industry participates in scoping the project, evaluating the project, as well as guiding the students working on these projects on how to proceed and how to manage certain obstacles. These projects are also governed internally by our faculty. So the students actually have 2 points to look at. One is the internal faculty and the other is the industry person. And as being a member of the evaluation committee, the industry therefore recognizes the kind of effort every student is putting in the project. The example on the technology side could be on AI or a blockchain or an IoT kind of thing, or using certain sophisticated reporting tools that enable you to create a lot of dashboards useful for the top management to take decisions. However, the important thing to understand here is that the students work and deliver something which is tangible. So the students understand how to use technology, say in the context, as an example here, to develop a contract management system using AI. So how, for an organization, you can automate the processes of contract management, look at exceptions, look at scenarios that are standard, and bring in a technology that does 80%, 90% of the work, which would otherwise be done by human beings. So the now represents the kind of work that the students have done, and that is what the students actually present back to the industry. Likewise, using blockchain, y'all are all familiar with the concept of loyalty management. But now, if you were to look at it as loyalty across organizations, across industries, how will that work? So you need a technology platform that enables you to bring in data that can be authenticated by any person in the uh, membership, to look at whether a particular set of points can be redeemed at all or not, whether they were valid at all or not. So the entire concept of loyalty management across organizations is something that requires the capabilities of this new technology called blockchain, which is something that will be taught in the class in terms of how blockchain works, and gets converted into a practical knowledge when the students actually work on a project and show how an industry level or across industry level loyalty management systems can come in. Now, these are sample projects that we're talking about. There are projects that are a lot more intense. There is one which you're seeing on the analytics side, which is based on a cricket commentary, to look at how do you use that data to forecast what the effect is going to be on the next ball that is going to be bowled. Now, this is not just to do with sport. This has huge applications in the area of customer management. So this is the same technology that is used to look at complaint management for an online company. Now, there could be millions of such records sitting in your complaint box or your suggestion box, which need to be automated. So you use concepts of speech to text or text to speech, depending on how you're collecting that information, run it through an AI algorithm to look at what the sentiment is, and then bring in the analytics to say how broadly these messages can be categorized or classified for you to take action upon. So this is a lot of experience that students gain from understanding how technology and data can be put to use to solve real life problems, or to anticipate problems of the future and be prepared with answers right now. This is possible. I mean, this continues in terms of what Rajesh had mentioned, in terms of the experience that these students have after they get into the program. There are many other kinds of projects that the students do within the course itself, which is topic specific. For instance, in design thinking, you would be taking up problems from the industry by talking to companies and giving them a solution back. Similarly, you would do that in product management too, or a brand management area, where how digital is important in the context of product management. So these are faculty led, where the industry also participates. And this is possible for us because we have a strong industry connect. And one part of that Industry Connect, which I'm going to speak about, is the advisory board members that we have, who have helped us conceptualize this program from a point of just a concept to executing it, as to what should the manager of the future be ready for. And as you can see, these are people from top-notch companies, from consulting, technology, consumer products, as well as startups. They are also the founders of these startups, or they are in very senior positions in such organizations that use most of these technologies that we're talking about in their own organizations, or in the process of transforming their clients' organizations. We also have the advisory board manned by our own faculty members, so that we know that at any point of time, we are talking about a concept that can be executed too. So it is not just a concept that is spoken about by the advisory board, it is something that can be translated into action within a short period of time. So this is how DEM program is structured, and the people at the helm who are overseeing the progress of this particular course. Being new, there are many things that happen for the first time, which is something that we've experienced with the first batch. But at every point of time, there are answers that come up thanks to the kind of support that we get from the industry. A little more about the industry is where I would invite Professor Janak Shah, the director of IIM Udaipur, to speak to you more about.
Thank you, Shekhar. And again, warm welcome to all of you for this webinar. Uh, I'll just take a minute first talk about broader this thing and come to Industry Academia Alliance. Rajesh talked about our journey as an institution. So we are less than a decade old institution. And I think the initial phase, we had focused a lot on the ensuring that we create a program which is outstanding in terms of quality of experience, which the participants would have, which is a transformational nature. I think in a second phase now, so you've done very well up to this stage, but now, we've talked about Vision 2030 in terms of how do we want to look at it. And there are two elements which are very important. One is a very strong interface with industry. So, we talk about a multiple way in which we're going to interact with the industry. And second is in terms of, do we have some distinctive identity as IIM Udaipur? And the area which we think will give us a distinctive identity is this digital. We think when we look at future industry, this whole digital nature of the world, for example, when I look at the way when we are conceptualizing this, we found if you look at our top 10 companies in the world, corporate in the world by market capitalization, 6 of them are essentially pure digital. And rest of them are also talking about a digital transformation. So that's where, this combination of two things, which is when we look at our Vision 2030, saying that where we are today, and there are two elements. One, the industry, stronger relationship with the industry, and the second, this distinctive identity through digital. So when we talk about Industry Academia Alliance, we talk about, obviously, one is a talent, that we need to provide talent for the future. So that's where, this program and other program which we do are important. But I think there are various other ways in which we need to engage with industry. One is within the program, where we have, industry who come and help us in designing, which we saw in terms of the Center for Digital Enterprise. Similar, we have several other centers, but also actively actually come and teach within the program, and also offer those live projects, which my colleagues talked about. Now, I think that digital is very different, this whole digital enterprise, because unlike all other programs, where I think we have a fair understanding of when we talk about curriculum, I think here was a unique experiment where we say we don't know enough. So we're going to partner with industry, where industry will come and even teach in this program. So we have a fair amount of courses where industry comes and teaches. And as Shekhar talked about, the projects part of it. Third is also in terms of joint research, because finally, the management is very, when we talk about management education, the research is very different because you have to be finally working in partnership with industry. So we are talking about research as well as certain joint initiatives where we work together. So I think in general as an institution, we're very excited in terms of the various ways in which we engage with the industry. But I think especially Center for Digital Enterprise and 1 year MBA in Digital Enterprise Management, I think we have taken this at a very different level. Next slide, please. So now, where do our students, where we hope our students will play a role? Now, unlike other program, this is the first batch, right? So I think some of it we're going to discover as we go along. But the way we see, we don't see you as, computer science people, right? Because some of you would be, I mean, there's always a question that, do I need to come with a background? So for example, because we talk about 3 pillars, which is a management, digital technology, and analytics. We're saying our, graduates are going to work with a business first, right? So everywhere it's going to be business first, but ability to look at, ability to look at any technology from a business lens. And that's where in a companies which are consulting companies, essentially role of a business analyst, but also in a companies which are digital. So that we talk about a range of opportunities. One is obviously management consulting. Other is, technology companies. It could be retail. Then you're talking about companies across the board. It could be retail, it could be BFSI, but in all of them, essentially either leading a team where you're talking about digital, initiatives. It could be a digital company where you're going to talk about digital initiative, or it could be digital transformation. So anywhere playing a role of a project manager, program manager, or product manager and business analyst. The next slide, please. So I think, but a lot of it we're going to discover in this year, and maybe Jennifer can talk about a little more as we go along. But we are happy that, already we have seen a traction where already 25% of our, students have been placed, and we're seeing the kind of response industry is showing, because industry is quite excited. This is a unique program. So, let me try and summarize in this slide. I think first it's a unique, something which we are very proud that we were one of the first in the world to actually come back with this program, right? And the last year, with Jennifer, the current year, when we launched last year, a lot of things were not known. I think what has happened in this year gives us a lot more confidence. A lot of experimentation also happened, but it gives us a lot more confidence that we have this unique program where obviously finally we're giving a MBA degree, 1 year MBA, but they're a lot more industry oriented, right? And finally, obviously, we're a part of a larger, the program is offered through an institution where we have a nice campus. And as I said, one of the youngest institution growing at the fastest pace. So let me stop here and hand it over back to Professor Rajesh.
Thank you, Professor Shah, for your lucid explanation of the involvement of industry in a significant way with us. If any one of you have any questions, you're very welcome to write or email to us at mbaadmission@imu.ac.in or contact us at the numbers given in the slide. So we're very welcome to connect. And you're also very welcome if you have more queries. You want to talk to current students. Jennifer is here. She can certainly share some of her experiences. And all we also invite you to talk to our alumni, any alumni that you wish. We can also help you get in touch with alumni in case you have questions when you want to understand more about IIM Udaipur as an institute. So I hand it over back to Jennifer to take it forward. And Jennifer, if you could also like to briefly talk about your experience before you pass it on to we discuss the questions, it'll be wonderful.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing all these details about the program. So, sharing my experience, so I totally understand the anxiety that all of you might be feeling, especially with the pandemic situation that's out there online. Things might, how are things going to turn up? We were in the same situation, but we did not see the pandemic thing coming in. But we definitely had a lot of anxiety, a lot of ambiguity regarding how it's going to turn out, and considering it's the first time a program like this is being launched. So there is always that feeling, but what I have experienced and what my batchmates have experienced over the course of the past few months is transformational, phenomenally transformational. So I wouldn't give you any wrong ideas here, or I wouldn't mislead you here. But frankly speaking, I have changed totally from when it comes to personal development in the form of Unnati sessions, which we have, wherein you're taught how to manage your stress levels, how to multitask, and then there are sessions from Career Car who teach you how to mold your resume in a particular format and to ensure that your strengths are also highlighted at the same time and you're not pressurized into something which you don't want to do. So at every point from when you talk about the faculty, the courses, the subjects, you're it's ensured that you are in safe hands. You are given all the resources that is required for you to excel. And even though the course went online because of the situation, we never felt alienated at any point of time. The faculties, Rajesh sir, Shekhar sir, Janat sir, everybody was always there, and everybody and all the other teachers which we are learning under, they were always there. We can always reach them over WhatsApp, no matter what time of the day it is, and we never felt isolated. We never felt that, okay, now how do I reach out to them? If I was in campus, it would have been better. That thought never came in. So that was only there before joining or before the start of the session, the program. But once the program started, that never came in our minds. So that is what should help you in deciding or removing any ambiguity that you still might have. And other than that, you can always connect to us. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. I'm sure you can find me there. And you can connect to anybody from my batch or from other batches from the IIM Udaipur campus. And apart from that, when it comes to the subjects, there is design thinking, which has been spoken about, which is something that's completely new. And not everybody will know about design thinking. There are people who will, but they will not have a lot of understanding on how the process is and how it builds a lot of empathy. When you talk about empathy, you go deep inside, and you also work with real companies to solve real customer problems there. So that is something which I do not I'm not very I was not very sure about how will that happen before the program started, or when I was talking to other people from other MBA programs. But when I actually experienced this during the course of this program, I actually can see myself developing a lot of empathy through these courses and actually understanding how to solve these problems, not just the textbook materials, not just the jargons, but also going deep inside and knowing the basics of it, knowing the foundations of it, and then deriving a solution. So that has been my experience. So there is still half of the program to go, and you're more than welcome to connect to me after a few months or right now, however that is. And I would love to share more as we keep unfolding throughout the sessions or throughout the coming months. Now, apart from this, if you have anything else, please type in the Q&A section. I see a couple of questions here, and I'll take them one by one. So there's a question by, so I don't see your name, it's anonymous. So I'll just call you anonymous. So there's a question saying, I am having experience of around 13 plus years in SAP as a technical consultant. Would this program in digital management and analytics would be helpful to me from a placement perspective? So Rajesh sir, Janat sir, any one of you would like to take this?
Yeah, I'll take this. And uh, so in our experience, anybody who has over 10 years of experience, from the placement perspective, is extremely hard for us to get a placement. So one has to really evaluate very seriously whether it is worthwhile applying, because it's going to be extremely tough to get a placement for anybody who's more than 10 years. In fact, anything in the range of three to excuse me, 3 to 8, 9 years is the best in terms of placement perspective. And from 8 to 10, it starts becoming difficult, and beyond 10 is very, very hard to place.
So, if I just add something here. So essentially right now we are talking about our experience. We've been offering a 1-year MBA in a, global supply chain management. So I think we've been talking about from that experience, and we feel the issues are not going to be very different in the digital enterprise management. So I think we would actually discourage somebody who's beyond 10 years, because at least the companies which we've been in touch with look at our students primarily from the that kind of experience.
I would like to add a little perspective here, since I've been talking to various other kinds of students too. There's a lot of interest shown by people with more than 10 years of experience, but since this question is directed very clearly on placement, it has been answered. But those who are actually looking at a sabbatical and therefore going back to their own organizations tend to benefit a lot from this program. And therefore, there are organizations that actually allow their employees to take up their own skilling activities or knowledge development activities. And this falls well in that category. But if you're looking at changing employers, the perspective is very, very different. And that's what the director and Professor Rajesh have already answered.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I hope that answered your question. Now, moving forward, there's a question from Akhil, uh, who asks, for someone with a non-IT background, can you suggest some courses to undertake beforehand so that he can tackle the course better? Yeah. So, firstly, I would like to give a brief background of mine, because you spoke about a non-IT background. I also come from a non-IT background. I have done my bachelor's in commerce. So when you talk about having some courses to take beforehand, I do not see something as very mandatory, because everything will be taught to you during the program curriculum, during the program uh, time being, which will be there for the entire 1 year. So and if there is something that will definitely come to you via the admissions office, sir will obviously tell you more about this. But from my perspective, if you have an interest in something, you can definitely go on Udemy, Coursera, and look for those courses and ensure that you are learning. But other than that, there's nothing that's very much mandatory, because that is what the college is here for. They will teach you everything. And sir, anybody who would like to take this or have any inputs here?
So if I add something here, this is a question we did also ask to our advisory body in terms of the kind of either the educational background or the experience. And they saying that since we are talking about a business first, right? And they said, it'd be nice to have a background which is a varied background, because for example, the project you're going to do are going to do in teams. So and our experience so far, because we still have a program which is only half the done. I think our program is, we've been quite positive about this whole idea that we don't think IT, experience is essential, but obviously you should love technology, right? You shouldn't be in this program that if you think the whole idea is you should be excited about technology, you don't need to have that background. I don't know. Is there anything else, Rajesh, you want to add?
No, I think this is the issue that this we have to recognize this is a program in management of technology, management of digital. So the top of the line, basically you will graduate as not technical experts, but you will graduate as managers of technology. And in that sense, while we teach you both, but the predominant focus remains that you will become a business manager working in the setting of the digital enterprise, right? So we don't think that we need to overly worry about, having, a significant prior learning or prior preparation. Once you apply and you join here, then we will pretty much take care of all the requirements that are there in the course.
Thank you, sir. I hope that answered your question, Akhil. Moving forward, there's a question from Pradeep. I think this will overlap with the questions that we have. He asked that I am from Nepal, want to join the MBA and DEM program, and he's also asking about the tuition fees. That for that, I would request you to please write an email to us. The email ID is flashing on the screen. And he also asks, yeah, so I think that's the only question that we had. And anything else, Tanu ma'am, would you like to answer this, or is there anything else? Because he's asking, he's from Nepal. So is there anything that that's there that you would like to add apart from the email thing?
As per, if he's from Nepal, but if he is a Indian passport and he is a Indian, if he be able to attend the program in India, right now is in Nepal, he can apply.
Okay. Okay. So Pradeep, if there is anything else, then please write to us and we will get back to you as soon as possible, or you can also call us on the contact number that's given. Moving forward, we have anonymous. The question of the batch size is already being answered over chat. We are expecting a batch size of around 40. Janat sir has informed us. And then we have a question from Himaja, and she asks, I'm an MTech student at NIT Trichy. I want to join the course of after my MTech. Could you please reach out to me? So I would request Himaja to also write to us if there's any particular concern that you have, or else if you have applied on the portal, then that would be good. And for all the questions regarding higher experience ranges, more than 10 to 15 years, sir has already answered those questions. Yeah, so I think that's and there's a question from Akhilesh who asks, I'm working in the field of mechanical design engineering and having 6 years of experience in finite element analysis. So can I join this course? So you can definitely join this course, and there is nothing that should that should stop you or should be a hindrance, because we have already spoken about people coming from non-IT backgrounds, me included, and so I don't think there is an obstacle here. But if there is something that's very specific or something which you have not mentioned here, which is taking you aback, or you see that as an obstacle, then please write to us and we will get that sorted for you. And I'm looking for any other question which I might have missed out on. Yeah. Mm, there's a question from Kunal who says, thanks everyone for sharing the details. Could you please shed some light on the placements for the current batch of them? Some details around the typical roles and compensation being offered would be helpful. Yeah, so we have already answered about the roles and also the placements. But yeah, but if there is anything else, sir, that you would like to add here about the placements or about the typical roles or anything around this arena, then
Let me answer that question, Jennifer. In terms of roles, uh, these are roles that are managerial in nature. It involves some bit of transformational roles and some bit of analytical roles. So that's how the current placement activities have happened to the quarter of the batch that has been placed. There are more companies visiting the campus with different kinds of job descriptions. And we'll have to wait and watch how that unfolds. And that also brings us to the point in terms of saying, what is the kind of compensation, etc., that people are curious to know. We will be putting this up once our audit is done of all these data, and you will be able to see the audited reports on our website itself. And that is something that will tell you about the organizations, the industry they belong to, and the kind of roles and compensation that students have got from this particular program.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's a question from Kapil. He asks, Shekhar sir, that's a question for you. So, would the higher experience be considered in case of a sabbatical?
So, as Professor Rajesh pointed out, we look at a profile in its totality. So we look at in terms of, what is that the aspirant is looking for, and basis that the interview is done. So we use that as a factor. What we are trying to say here is that if there is a large amount of industry experience that is there at the time of starting this course, and the intent is to look for a change of employment, that's not going to be easy. But if it is done with the intent of saying that this is going to help me further my career prospects in the organization I'm in, people can benefit a lot more. We
Thank
want to
you,
say.
sir.
So, couple being specific to you, there are students who are on sabbatical.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, there's a question from Anonymous again, who asks companies which have recruited this year. So, yeah, so one thing which I can tell you is we have top management consulting companies which are coming in for recruitment, and also companies in the e-commerce domain and also the BFSI domain which are coming in for recruitments. And for particular details about the companies, you will have to wait a little, and it will be updated on our website very soon. But yeah, so that is something which I can let you know right now. And Shekhar sir, if there's anything else you would like to add here.
Yeah, so in terms of industries that are coming to us, you've clearly mentioned. I would like to also add tech companies coming to the campus for hiring, and specifically from the program that we are talking about. And from an industry point of view, there are others who are now showing interest, preparing themselves, because typically the industry understands that people with a lot of experience need to be looked at very differently. And I'm using certain terms, I hope you're familiar. There is something as campus and there is something as lateral. So most students from the DEM program qualify for a lateral placement, which means they come with the experience and move as though they are coming from the industry straight into another organization, as compared to a campus where they're not too particular about the past experience. It's more about the knowledge that the students have gained. So these are some fine tuning that's happening right now as we speak. The industry is also working towards that, because they have to come through their policies to see how they hire people with greater number of years of experience.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So there's a question from Sahil Matthews. He's asking, I have an experience of 4+ years with 3 years of experience in digital marketing and around 2 years working in the administration vertical. Is this program going to be an add-on to my profile as I want to switch back to corporate in the coming future? So anyone would like to take this?
So Sahil, will the program help? The answer is yes. But what help will it bring to you, and what specific objectives you have? That needs to be understood a little more clearly for us to advise you properly. So at a generic level, this is designed for people to make switches in their careers, to get into the digital space, That's how we are looking at it. And in our belief, digital is going to be the top rung hiring, place in future and demanding a lot more skills. That's how we are looking at it. But please feel free to write to us with anything specific that you may want, and we'll attempt to answer that.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there's a question from Anonymous, and the question is, does IIM Udaipur help for entrepreneurship? So,
The answer is
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The answer is yes, and we have a complete startup system there. And if your intentions are very clear, we will connect you early into the program to connect with the entrepreneurship cell within IIM Udaipur, and that will work in parallel with you to develop your ideas into something more concrete.
So, if I just want to add something here, as Shekhar talked about, we have a incubation center, and they also identified, digital as one important area. So in that sense, and it's we're very ambitious in that space in terms of the whole entrepreneurship. So you should find fair amount of support in that area.
Thank you, sir. So I hope that answered your question. And yes, regarding the course, we have a subject on entrepreneurship. So we have had that in the first term. It's a 2 credit course, and it was amazing to be to tell you the truth. And we had a great time because a lot of us did not have any basics in entrepreneurship. We knew about the startup culture going on. We knew about companies. We had a very vague idea of all of these things, but we did not know the basics of it. How do you actually get into it? How do you build it? What is a canvas like? So all of those details are actually taught to you during the entire course, the 10 sessions which will be held, and not just the 10 sessions. As I said, you have an incubation center, and you can connect to them post the sessions, before the sessions, during the sessions, and there is a lot of opportunity for you if you are interested in entrepreneurship, and not just that, a lot of other things also. So that is my experience, which I would also like to add on. So yeah, so that was it. And yeah, so I
Jennifer,
don't.
there are, with your permission,
Yeah.
there are a couple of questions that have been there. I would just like to address them very quickly. This is from Venkat, who's posted more of a concern about his application. My urge to Venkat is, Venkat, please write to us, because we have to look into your profile to understand what your question is and how to address that. Uh, we would be more than happy to look at what has changed in your profile to see how it fits into the overall program. Feel free to speak to us if required. uh, Without the information of your background, etc., it is difficult for us to put a generic response here. I believe Akhilesh Chaudhary's question on finite element analysis experience has been answered. Your background in a particular area is not a deterrent for you to attend this particular program, but be clear how you want to enhance that through the learnings of digital. And so, Akhilesh, you're definitely welcome to join this program. So, for that, please apply. And I think Venkat has posted some more, and I would like to address that one-on-one rather than on this forum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's one question from Vikrant where he's asking, is there any international immersion? We had thought about this very carefully, and in our judgment, we thought, given the nature of the program, we believe that there will be not so much benefit to be gained by having an international immersion. As a result, we don't have any international immersion in this program.
On a lighter note, Rajesh, I would like to add, uh, we believe we are amongst the first ones to have a course like this. So others should be looking at an international immersion here in India than we going there. So we looked at it far more critically as to what benefits can come in. So we believe what we're doing right now is of interest to the industry and the academic world.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, sir. And yes, and Akhil, yeah, so we are very excited to see you in the batch also. I was just looking at your chat message there. So yeah, I'm sure you are going, you and everybody else who are looking forward to join the program and who will be selected. We are very much excited to have you on board and connect to you in the future. So, yeah, I'm
So
looking to,
questions are coming in still.
yeah, yeah, I was just going to say that. Okay, so there is a question from Akhil. He is asking, seeing the current situation, what are the chances for this course to be conducted on campus? Yeah. So, sir, you would like to
Let me take
answer?
it.
Yeah.
So, we would hope and believe that by the time the course is supposed to begin in the month of May, COVID will be behind us, and we would like to warmly welcome you on the campus. Uh, Having said that, this is something that is nobody's control, and we will have to do things which is in line with the government guidelines, right? So the functioning of educational institutions throughout the country, whether IIMs or other management schools, are all driven by the guidelines given by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education. And as of now, the guideline is to conduct classes only online. We cannot conduct classes on campus. Having said that, I would like to mention to you that majority of the batch of the DEM is already on campus, so that they are staying on campus, they have their facility, they are able to attend the program online, but not inside the classroom. As a result, the students are still able to talk to each other and take advantage of their physical presence on campus. But our ability to start the classes on campus will only be driven by the guidelines issued by the government. As I said, we hope by the time the course is supposed to begin, we should get the permission to start it on campus. There's another question that I can see, that does the admission process require recommendation letters? Uh, so Tanu, can you clarify that?
Yes, two references are required to apply for this program. That can be from your current company, any professional level, or from any company you work for.
Great, so that answers the question.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so yeah, so I do not see any other questions. So yeah, so there, okay, so there's another question. Um, is it possible to share my profile to get a recommendation? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I would, so we would need more details on what exactly is the question. But yeah, so moving forward, is there, so there's a question from Vikrant who's asking, would like to request you to consider candidates with higher levels of experience, because they are the ones who may benefit the most in the process of digital transformation. Yeah. So Rajesh sir, would you like to answer this?
So here is the thing. So as Mr. Shekhar mentioned a while ago, that when people join in the program, they also expect the institute to help them in the process of placement. Based on our experience in a similar program that we run called Global Supply Chain Management, we have found that placing students who have upwards of 10 years of experience is extremely difficult. In fact, we have not had a single student who had more than 10 years of experience, except in situations where students come on a sabbatical, where they are not looking for placement and they go back to their original employer. If they're looking for doing a management program as a vehicle to change the employment from one employer to the other, unfortunately, employers are not very keen to recruit students upwards of 10 years of experience. And it is that challenge that we have to be cognizant of, aware of. And that is the reason which we mentioned, that we will discourage you to apply if you have upwards of 10 years of experience.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there's a question from Akhilesh who asks, I want to pursue PhD after this course. So this, will this work as a master's degree? So
Right.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask. Yeah.
So as far as pursuing PhD is concerned, interestingly, different institutions, different universities have different set of guidelines. While some may recognize this degree as equivalent to master's, for the purposes of admission in the PhD program, others may not. It's difficult to give one uniform answer for this question. It will be important for you to check with the relevant university where you would like to pursue your master's degree, sorry, PhD degree, to find out whether this is eligible as a master's degree for pursuing PhD.
But Akhilesh, if I just add something here, we have essentially, this program is designed for a world of practice. So essentially, if somebody says that I've decided I want to pursue PhD as my goal, I would say, this may not be the ideal program. Okay. I mean, it may not be a constraint, as Professor Rajesh talked about, but our whole focus is to prepare you for a world of practice. Okay. Because, that's how the whole program is designed. So if your end goal is actually PhD, maybe this is not the right program for you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And yes, I do not see any new questions coming in. And apart from this, if you think you have anything else, then I have also mentioned the email ID and phone number in the chat session. It's also flashing on the screen. Please email it to us and we will get back to you, call us, and we will let you know the best solution. And so, sir, is there any thing that you would like to end on, or any closing thoughts for the prospective students or whoever is listening to us today?
So I would like to say this, that DEM is the first program that we are offering. It's unique, we believe, not only within the country, but globally, to blend management as a body of knowledge as well as digital as the context. We believe it's a unique experience. We are very proud of it. We believe this holds the future. But having said this, we would like to encourage you to talk to our alumni. If you think you want to talk to them, you can talk to our current batch students. And we also, if you want to get a sense of the placement for the program, though there is no direct comparison, if you want to get a sense for other programs, you can look at our website where placement data is available. Placement data is not available for them because it's the first year of the program. But we are very encouraged with the kind of placements that have begun. And on that note, I would like to thank you all for joining us this evening. And we wish that you take a decision which is in your best interest, right? Because ultimately it has to make sense for you. And write to us in case you have any more query. And on that note, we thank you very much and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.